Imagine having so much wealth that kings borrowed money from you. Imagine financing emperors, influencing wars, and shaping the future of entire nations, not with armies, but with money. Now imagine that your fortune, adjusted to today's value, could rival or even surpass that of the richest billionaires alive. This is the extraordinary story of Jakob Fugger, the man many historians call the richest merchant in history. Born in 1459, in the German city of Augsburg, Jakob wasn't born into poverty, but he also wasn't destined to become a legend. His family owned a respectable textile business, one of many merchant families competing for success in Renaissance Europe. Most people would have been satisfied inheriting a comfortable business. Jakob had a much bigger vision. He understood something that others didn't. The real money wasn't just in selling products. It was in controlling the flow of money itself. While other merchants focused on buying and selling cloth, Jakob quietly expanded into banking, mining, and international trade. It was a bold move. Instead of relying on a single source of income, he built an empire in which each business strengthened the next. He financed mining operations that produced vast quantities of silver and copper. He invested in trade routes stretching across Europe. He lent money to princes, nobles, and even kings. Every deal made his influence stronger. Every investment made his fortune larger. Soon, Europe was changing, and Jakob was at the center of it all. One of his greatest advantages was understanding that information was as valuable as gold. His agents traveled across the continent, gathering news about politics, wars, trade, and markets long before anyone else received it. While others reacted to events, Jakob prepared for them. That gave him an advantage few could match. Then came the opportunity that would define his legacy. In 1519, the Holy Roman Empire prepared to elect a new emperor. The position would shape the future of Europe, and several powerful rulers competed for the throne. Jakob Fugger made a decision that changed history. He provided enormous financial backing to Charles of Habsburg, helping secure his election as Emperor Charles V. It wasn't simply a loan. It was one of the most influential financial transactions the world had ever seen. When Charles became emperor, Jakob's influence reached unprecedented heights. Kings owed him money, popes negotiated with him, governments depended on him. His business empire stretched across Europe like a web connecting mines, banks, factories, trading houses, and financial institutions. At the height of his power, Jakob controlled much of Europe's copper and silver production. His businesses supplied metals used to mint coins, manufacture weapons, and fuel economic growth. In many ways, controlling these resources gave him influence that rivaled entire kingdoms. Historians estimate that his fortune represented an astonishing share of Europe's entire economy. If measured against today's global wealth, some estimates suggest his fortune would be worth hundreds of billions of dollars, placing him among the richest individuals in human history. Yet Jakob wasn't known for extravagant luxury alone. He believed wealth carried responsibility. In 1521, he founded the Fugger in Augsburg, a housing community for poor families. Remarkably, it still exists today. Residents continue to pay a symbolic annual rent of less than €1, making it one of the world's oldest social housing projects still in operation. It became proof that lasting success is measured not only by what you accumulate, but also by what you leave behind. Jakob Fugger died in 1525, but his influence didn't disappear with him. His business practices transformed banking. His investment strategies inspired generations of entrepreneurs. His understanding of diversification, long-term thinking, and strategic partnerships remains relevant more than 5 centuries later. His story teaches us that extraordinary wealth isn't built overnight. It grows from solving bigger problems than everyone else, from thinking beyond today's profits, from investing where others hesitate, and from building systems that continue creating value year after year. The richest merchant in history didn't become powerful because he chased money. He became powerful because he understood how money, commerce, information, and opportunity all work together. That lesson is just as valuable today as it was during the Renaissance. Whether you're building a business, investing for the future, or creating something from nothing, remember this: fortunes come and go, but vision, discipline, and the courage to think differently are the real foundations of lasting wealth. If you enjoyed this story and want to discover more incredible tales of history's greatest entrepreneurs, fortunes, and business empires, subscribe to the channel, because the next story may completely change the way you think about success.